One of the critical aims of scouting is advancement. Let's talk a little bit about the advancement team. Hey, Scouter Stan. Let's talk a little bit about advancement. Advancement is a critical part of the scouting movement, whether it be a troop or a pack or a crew. Advancement is one of the ways, it's one of the methods that we use in scouting to develop scout skills, to learn merit badges, and to achieve rank. These are things that scouts learn from, and it's a critical part of scouting. We as adult leaders know that. So we need to get it together correctly. Now, a lot of units that are just starting off, they're brand new. Sometimes they will take the secretary of the committee and make that person the temporary advancement person. So that's okay for a short time, but quickly we need adult members that have members that are part of the unit. We need them to step up and actually start getting involved as in the advancement team. And I say advancement team because it would be burdensome for a troop or a pack that was 100 or more youth. It would be very burdensome for just one person. So you need to diversify that, and I call it the advancement team. Being that it's an advancement team, that will diverse all of the different departments. So if you have a blue and gold as a pack, or you have a court of honor coming up as a troop or a crew, these are things that you can work on as a team in the advancement team. Now, there's some tools that scouting uses that makes it very easy. Scout book is a wonderful thing. That makes it very easy for packs, troops, and crews to accumulate all of the awards and everything, do all the reports, do the shopping list when they need to get all the awards for their event. That's one of the things that Scout Book has built into it. Now, I'll link it up here. Don't go to it right away. That's true with any of them. I just put it up there to remind you. After this, go to that, and it'll tell you a little bit more about Scout Book. If you're not already an expert, that is a great starting point. Scout Book is very easy to do. A lot of videos out there on how to use it and make it really work for you. So look into that. But advancement can be very tedious if it's all poured onto one person, because advancement is also the person that arranges and sets up the boards of review for rank advancement in a troop or a crew. That's important, and get that arranged so that there's a proper amount of representation there is the responsibility of the advancement team. They're the ones who kind of take care of that. They also do all of the bookkeeping aspects. Now, in a troop, it's a little different than it is with a pack. And that's one of the things that den leaders and scout leaders from a Cub Scout pack need to understand. In a Cub Scout pack, the youth are doing their advancements most of the time either with their parents or the den leader, and they take care of all the record keeping. That changes when you jump over into a troop. If you're crossing over from Webelos and Arrow of Light and you're crossing over into a troop, advancement changes because it's youth-led. Now, obviously, the advancement team is going to be adult leaders. So the youth are responsible to take their blue cards for merit badges. The youth are responsible to take their handbook over to the team to make sure that it gets logged in. The youth also can do that with Scout Book. that's a wonderful tool. So don't miss out on Scout Book. Scout Book's a great tool for that, for record keeping. One of the really neat things that an advancement team can do is work with a Life Scout becoming an Eagle. That is a wonderful opportunity for them to mentor and help and facilitate and guide, and that in itself enables the scout to complete the merit badges that are needed, all the requirements, the project, all that kinds of stuff. Now, it can get kind of difficult for a lot of advancement because it's very involved. It's not easy becoming an Eagle Scout. It is hard. Ask any Eagle Scout; they'll tell you. It is not an easy process, but understanding a little bit of that, and in fact, I'm going to put down there in the notes below the video, I'm going to put down there a link to the advancement guide. That has got everything for advancement. It's all there, okay? Definitely download that. It is an interactive online thing through National. They change it, so there's no point in printing it out, okay? It does change over time. So that being said, I'll put it down there in the notes, and if you're listening to on our podcast, I will have it in the notes of the show so that you can go to the website, the National website, and look up any of the questions that you might have about advancement. But back to the Eagle Scout. Now, a lot of times, troop committees, because they're made of parents, they are not aware of a lot of construction capability. So there's a lot of questions that may come up if a scout is presenting his project and it has construction lingo in the presentation. I've actually been to a committee meeting where a scout was presenting, and we had to explain how hammers and nails and screws and drills work to some parents because they weren't aware of these things. So that being the case, the larger troops often come up with a subcommittee. Now, the subcommittee is actually voted on. The members of it are voted in. The subcommittee meets with the Life Scout, goes over the project. Now, a lot of times the people that they put in the subcommittee for Eagle project review, those are usually people that are in construction, no construction, were in it, maybe retired from it, very organized, they know what the tools of the trade are. So when an Eagle Scout comes and they start to explain these things of their project, it makes it easier to present. Of course, the troop committee chair is also the chair of that subcommittee, and everything is approved through them. That is one of the required signatures on an Eagle Scout. They have to sign off as a committee. The committee chairman does that, okay? Chairman being male or female, okay? So the committee signs off on that very thing. So that's super important, especially for the advancement team. This helps diversify the many facets that can literally drive you out of your mind because there's so many things going on. There's so many moving parts. It would be impossible for one person to do it all. They don't last long if they try. Okay? I don't recommend it. So having an advancement team makes it much easier. And that way, if somebody changes, they get transferred or something happens, they aren't the reason that advancement stops within the unit. So it's very important that there be a team of people. The bigger the unit, the bigger the team. That's up to you to determine. And if it's more than one person can handle, you need more than one person. So seriously think about the advancement team within your unit. Does it need help? Does there need to be more people involved in that advancement? Advancement is a critical method of scouting. It is one of the aims of scouting. So that's a very important part of all of it. Now, the advancement team also works with what we call scout facing. That's the scoutmaster, cub master, den leader. That's scout facing. Being an advancement team, they're sort of in the middle between backstage and scout facing. So it's a great place for a lot of parents, and they can put in small amounts. You can have one person, just one, doing blue and gold in a pack. You could have just one person doing all the arrangements and all of the logistics for a court of honor, for a troop. These are things that advancement is called upon to do. And putting those things together is a critical part of scouting and a successful unit. And I know you do a lot of these great things. And you know what? If you have a question, by the way, feel free to add it to our community here. I'm here to answer questions and hear your input. I have had people put in, oh, I do this different. That's a great idea. So look at the comments that are here on our community and feel free to jump right in. Of course, Scout Law is the rules. But other than that, you just keep up the good work, and I will see you on the trail.